We sold our home in the suburbs, moved out to the country. Life and homeschooling is a challenge no matter what is going on in the world, especially when you're in the midst of some big thing happening in your life.
Good morning, cookies.
Even if that is like nothing has changed except COVID, I feel like we are all in this place right now that we could use a little bit of help just kind of figuring out how we do life at this point in time. It's been a challenge to figure out how to keep homeschooling and make sure our kids are getting a quality education during this time. And so today I'm going to be sharing 5 things that I've been able to do that has helped us to continue being able to homeschool while we're in this season of uncertainty, moving our home and starting a completely different lifestyle. If you're new here, I'm Erin. I'm a homeschooling mom of 4 kids. We're in the middle of our 7th year of homeschooling and our 1st year of starting a farm. We've had a lot of things that we've had to learn about and figure out while we're in the midst of this, on top of trying to homeschool our kids. Hopefully there will be something that comes out of my mouth that is gonna bless you today. My first tip is to make life the lesson plan. And what I mean by that is when you are faced with a new scenario, a life change, a move, a new baby, whatever it may be, there is a learning process that happens for everyone. There are a lot of fun ways that you can incorporate your new life situation into an education because we are home schooling. We're not just textbook educating, right? So that we are teaching them all about life as we live life and do life together. And those life lessons are things that are going to stick with them for the rest of their life because the things that they learn right now are going to be things that they're going to need later on in their own lives. If you have a new baby, maybe teach your kids about how to change diapers and how to rock a baby and how to swaddle them and how babies nurse and how we're mammals, and ask them to figure out what other mammals are out there, things like that. It's important for our kids to be able to learn how they can be helpful too. And so that can be a great lesson plan that you're adding into this new phase of life, is just figuring out what your kids can help with right now with what you're facing. Maybe they need to step it up a notch with their helping with chores and things just to make sure the house continues to run smoothly. Or like for us, for example, we have mice in our house. We had to get a couple of barn cats, and so our kids have been responsible for feeding the cats and getting them adjusted to our new environment before we let them free range around the house, as well as we got a whole bunch of chickens. What do you think?
Is this one a door one?
And the kids have been learning about how to take care of chickens, and they've been helping to build the chicken tractors and helping to prune trees and all kinds of stuff that we've never done before. And those things are life skills that are going to be invaluable for our kids years and years down the road. And same with your kids. Don't underestimate the value of making what you're facing right now into a life lesson for your kids. And call it school. Because it is. It's life school. If you're getting any value from this video, hit that thumbs up button below. My second tip is to lower your expectations. It's important to start with some lower expectations so that you will always beat your expectations. If you have expectations that are too high for yourself, that you're expecting to be able to do everything that you've always done in the midst of this big life change that's going on, Unfortunately, you're more likely to feel like you're failing every day if you don't meet those expectations. Part of the challenge with this is that if we have these huge expectations on ourselves and on our kids in performing on the same level that they've always done while they're in the midst of this upheaval that's going on in their life, it's going to be really hard for them to measure up as well. And we put this undue pressure on them to keep in step with what they've been doing before, or to make sure they're measuring up with their peers. And while you're in the middle of something that's challenging or time consuming for you to tackle, just take it down a notch or two. And once you get back into a new rhythm with your new stage of life, then you can reintroduce some of those expectations that you would normally have for you and for your kids. My next tip is to keep it simple. If you have expectations for yourself to continue homeschooling with this really involved curriculum, that means that you have to prepare all this stuff ahead of time, or you need to spend a massive amount of time with each child individually this year while you're in the midst of this big life change that's happening, especially if it's something like having a newborn baby. I encourage you, maybe rethink the curriculum that you're using. Put that stuff on pause for just a little while. And while you are trying to figure out your new normal, your new routine, find something that is a little bit less intensive for you so that you can spend quality time working on things that really need to have your focus and your attention while you are still making sure your kids are getting an education. There are a lot of great curriculum options out there that are very family style that make it a whole lot easier to get a lot done in a short period of time. Keeping it simple can sometimes mean just putting the formal lessons away for a while and letting your kids learn a little bit more organically. Pick out books from the library that are things that they want to learn about. We really don't have to do every single subject every single day in order to give our children a quality education. For us, with just having moved, we have really been focusing on our devotion and Bible time and our scripture memory, which I did a video about that a couple weeks ago. We've also been just focusing on our core subjects. We've been doing language arts, we've been doing math, and we've been doing history. And pretty much that's it for the last couple of months that we've been living here. Now that we're finally kind of getting back into a routine of figuring out how things go on our new property and with all the other stuff that we have to manage now, we're gonna start introducing science again. We've really been doing, science has been shows that we've been watching on Amazon and Netflix and YouTube and things like that. We watch during lunchtime, and the kids have learned so much. And so I encourage you, maybe think about trying to do something like that in your home as well. My next tip is to set priorities for your day. This is something that I am telling myself as I'm telling you, because I have never been that great at organizing or making goals and priority lists. As homeschool moms, we have a whole lot of balls that we are like juggling up in the air, right? And it can be feel really overwhelming. Setting priorities for yourself can make a big difference in how you feel about what you've done at the end of the day. So my tip is to just choose a couple of things, like 2 or 3 things that you need to get done for each day, and be able to focus on the things that are the most critical that happen each day. This goes for taking care of your home and paying your bills and all of those things, as well as homeschooling your kids. And then at the end of the day, if you have only accomplished those 2 or 3 things, at least you've gotten done the things that were the most important for you to do that day, and you will feel a whole lot better about how the day has gone and feel much more successful. My last tip is to give yourself grace. I've talked about this before in my video about creating a peaceful homeschool. I'll link it up here for you if you want to go back and check that out too. It is so important to give yourself grace if things don't work out how you plan for them to work out, because accidents happen. Things come up, our plans can often get pushed to the wayside, especially when we're dealing with a big upheaval in our lives. And it's important to give yourself grace for that day. And if you aren't able to get to everything that you needed to do, even if it's those things on that priority list that we talked about earlier, shift those things to tomorrow and tackle them that day. It's gonna take a little bit of time to figure out how things are gonna work in your life with what you're facing right now. So don't put too much pressure on yourself to do it perfectly. The Lord gives us so much grace each day. The Bible says His mercies are new every morning. So focus on that. Take a deep breath. At the end of the day, it's okay. Celebrate the small victories, the little things that you've done right, the things that you have accomplished, and then look forward to the next day. Whatever you have going on in your life right now, it is temporary. It may be a lasting change, but the stress and the feeling that you're facing right now is going to improve. It's going to get better. And don't focus so much on how it's hard right now. Look to the future and the positive things that can happen, and just take small steps each day to get to yourself into a new routine and a new rhythm and a pace of life in whatever challenge or whatever situation that you're facing right now. God's grace is sufficient. He gives us everything that we need. We can give ourselves grace in return because He first gave it to us. And so I encourage you, keep your eyes on Jesus. He's the one that will get you through whatever it is that you're facing. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope this blessed your heart in one way or another. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up below and share it out with anyone you think might find it helpful. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you know when I post new videos just like this one. Thanks so much for watching. Be blessed today. Bye-bye.